In fall of 2023, we put up a new fence as the old fence was 26 years old and needed replacing. On November 15th, after less than 24 hours of putting the horses in the paddock with the new fence, Marianne found our yearling who had managed to get the fence wrapped around his leg. We were devastated, as we were the ones who chose to put this type of fence up after never having any injuries in the old type of fence. Marianne knew when she found him that his future didn't look good. Clearly, he had severed the tendon and was unable to walk. We were devastated. We were extremely grateful to our neighbor Meredith, who took the time out to get him safely to the vet. After the initial consultation, it was decided to try surgery to repair the leg. The other consideration was euthanasia. Initially, we were told the cost of the surgery was going to be around $3,000, so we thought it was worth a try, as this guy has the sweetest, kindest disposition. Next, a culture was sent to determine the type of bacteria so that the appropriate antibiotics could be administered. There was a large portion of the bone that was exposed, and he had managed to pack quite a bit of dirt in his wound. After spending a few days in the hospital, he was sent home for the long healing process. And boy, that was a scary trailer ride. He came home with a cast that had to be removed so the wound could be cleaned and a new bandage applied every other day. This was a task we ended up doing many times and quickly found this was not a one-man job. Marianne and I are forever grateful to the people that committed to help every 2 to 3 days for many months. Without their commitment, this would not be a success story. Taylor, Dusty, myself, and Marianne were committed to the end, and we had our challenges and we had our laughs. Unfortunately, the culture came back 6 days later, showing he was not on the appropriate antibiotics. Due to needing a different class of antibiotics, the surgery to repair the wound did not hold. The wound dehisted, and this added to the length of his recovery. It would take many weeks of thorough washing and rebandaging for the tissue to granulate and the proud flesh to turn to scar tissue. At one point, he broke his cast and had to have a new one made. A big thank you to all the amazing doctors from Wisconsin Equine Hospital who made numerous trips for various reasons for Titus in his recovery process. Changing the bandage was quite challenging and scary in the beginning. Since he did not have the tendon giving him the ability to bring his toe forward, he had to be carefully monitored and the leg held in position before the cast was replaced. For a long yearling, he was quite patient, learning to entertain himself with a ball that I brought him. He and the ball became good friends, and when he broke the first ball, he was devastated. We've never seen a horse show such excitement when I came with a brand new ball. He was relieved. Titus had numerous challenges along the way. Not only did he have the challenge of recovering from his trauma, he also injured his hamstring. Oftentimes, when horses tear a hamstring, they end up with a permanent limp. That was a devastating blow for sure, but thankfully, God had different plans and allowed that to heal. It was roughly 3 months before we could bandage without having to apply the cast. I'm not gonna lie, that was a stressful day. Everyone had so much invested in this leg, and we were all quite nervous but relieved to take the next step. Special thank you to Dr. Lisa Brzezinski, who kindly tolerated all of our many messages and questions. We had lots of suggestions from many people of what products to use to keep his proud flesh under control. We were extremely happy with the results when we used Aquaid. Not only did the product work extremely well, but the customer service and the company were great to work with and very helpful. We highly recommend using Aquaid. The day finally came when Dr. Brzezinski said we could remove all the bandaging and allow the wound to heal for the rest of the way with no covering. Again, that was a scary night, and it turned out to be a very bad decision for Titus, who had other plans. You can see how nicely the wound had been healing Monday night, and here is the wound Tuesday morning after Titus had chewed on it. So, back to bandaging for many more weeks. He frequently would chew on his leg if we left the bandage off. We were excited when the veterinarian told us that he could begin the process of walking and light exercise and eventually return to going outside in a small area until he was completely healed. This was difficult because he was young and wanted to run. We would laugh and tease each other who had to do the walking because it was sort of a death match with Titus. It was nice to see him feeling good, but it wasn't fun to be on the end of the rope with him. After a few weeks of hand walking, he was allowed to begin trotting, and eventually we made it outside. He's back to his happy self. The wound had continued to heal, and we still keep it bandaged as he still likes to nibble on it. After thousands and thousands of dollars of bandage material, countless hours of bandage changes, lots of laughs, and lots of tears, he is living a great life outside with his Grula friend Dodge. There are so many people we would like to thank from not only Wisconsin Equine Hospital, but all of Titus's friends who have showed up to give him support. Help with the bandaging, helping the initial day in the emergency, helping financially, or just being patient, waiting to use the aisle as we changed the bandages. We will forever be grateful to each and every one of you. Titus now has a great life ahead of him, and he's quite the character. We wanted to share the story to encourage anyone who has to make that tough decision. We are always for giving every horse a chance, and with a lot of prayer and hard work, it has worked out successful for Titus.